No.
Guys, we are here. We are finally here. We have been practicing for months, and this is I Have Something to Say. My name is Brooklyn Connor, and this is Courtney Hansen. We have patiently been awaiting the official launch, and when I say that, you don't just like walk into a podcast and just think you're going to be brilliantly good at it. From what I learned, I thought you would.
Yeah. It's harder than
then you watch yourself and you hear yourself, and I decided to start this on a sinus infection. So I have my Phoebe Buffet voice.
Yep. I don't know what mine is. Mine's like
smelly cat, smelly cat. I am gonna go ahead and introduce Courtney Hansen. She is brilliant, amazing, incredible. She is the homegrown mama of the Pacific Northwest. She has an apothecary drawer in her house. There is not a better advocate, alliance. She is blindly honest, but in a good way, and there is no one else I'd rather do this podcast with than her.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Well, I'm going to introduce Brooklyn Connor. Please don't ever call her Brooke, okay? If you follow her on Instagram, you know that her name is Brooklyn, never Brooke. She is my work wife and my partner in crime.
If one of us is not at work, they look at the other. They're like,
Where is she?
Did you put a tracker on her?
Yes. She is my biggest cheerleader when life is rough and genuinely an amazing friend and all-around wonderful person to be around. So I'm super excited about this podcast. I think it's going to be really fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy our conversations as much as we do.
And the biggest question is I'm not joking, a million podcasts that get put out every day, and we obviously are in real estate together, but this is not a real estate podcast. This is your anti-PC, possibly triggering conversation brought to you by two extremely resilient women who refuse to take no for an answer. Our paths crossed because we entered real estate together, but we have remained constant in each other's lives because we have figured out that we're better together than not. The way that we met was completely divine intervention, and how we could tell the story would be two very different storylines. Mm-hmm. I believe that I handpicked her. She believes that I forced myself into her life. With two very good friendships that we live very vastly different lives, and most of the times we don't agree on anything. But she is the only person that we can disagree and not have a blowout fight. And so there was just nobody that would be a better person in this space that could handle hard conversations. Incomparably from what we have found of other podcasts, there is just not a lot of conversations going on about things that are triggering or upsetting, or just realizations and questions that we have. At the end of the day, truly, we have something to say, and this is a place of honest conversation and solidarity for those who get it. Between the followers of Girls Got It and It's Just What We Do, we are launching a space to talk about things that we are up to here. And when it's up to here! I was see, this is why I can't prompt her. Tyler's like, are you going to put this on a teleprompter?
To talk about the things we are up. Oh, see, I didn't get that either in reading it.
Oh, I'm like, up to here.
Up to here.
Maybe Casey
that we've had it up to here with.
Up to here. Well, here. This jacket's a little constricting. Yeah. Maybe Casey can splice this.
Yeah, Casey, just fix that part. We've had it up to here.
Between the followers of Girls Got It and It's Just What We Do, we are launching a space to talk about the things that we are up to here with. We are having questions, realizations, and pending perspective from time to time. Without further ado, let's get started. Right before we entered the room, Casey gave us like a list of, I was feeling pretty good. I'm like, we got so much done. We got our thumbnail. We got our outline.
I know, right?
I showed up.
I'm here. I was on time.
We're done. He's like, you guys got to figure out your color scheme. And I was like, obviously magenta. Courtney was like, no. So there are lots of things to come. Websites, Instagrams.
Tweaking.
This drab set over time will get changed.
It'll get better.
But we have our hot takes, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So, Courtney, what do you got going on this week?
Okay, do you want me to tell you what I've got going on this week, or do you want me to tell you what my
I want you to tell me
hot
what your hot
takes
takes are.
Gotcha. Okay, so first of all, if you don't know me, you might not know that I love a good deal.
Yeah. But sometimes, like, what I think a good deal and what you think a good deal is
Totally.
is very different.
Sometimes what Brooklyn thinks is a good deal is like I wouldn't even buy that in my normal life. So it's just like it's like the coupon book in The Office. Remember when they have the costume show in The Office and they win the coupon book and Oscar's like, you guys, you have to spend $25,000 to get these $10,000 in savings. And Brooklyn's like, yes, it's a great deal. And I'm like, but I wouldn't buy that thing in the first place. So, to be fair, there's that. But I follow Hip to Save. So I don't know if you know Hip to Save. I've been following Hip to Save for like 5 years. I love Hip to Save. It's like an app. You can just scroll through any of the deals. It's a girl. She does it. She makes her app. So she's got a podcast. She has an Instagram. She has an app. So I follow her app, especially this time of year around the holidays when I'm looking for like Christmas present deals, right?
Okay.
So I think it was your parents that have the electric salt and pepper grinders.
In fact, you posted it on Facebook, and then I think I just like you're like one of my starred people. So whenever you post something, I get a notification.
Yeah.
But I thought you tagged me, and I want to be like, Courtney, I don't need that. I'm good. Also, I like grinding my own salt and pepper.
I don't like doing that.
Well, I have so little to do. I mean, not really, but it's like. You have 9 children, so for you to salt and pepper all your kids, it's like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just feel like they're fancy.
They're very fancy and they're cool.
So her parents have them, and they're just super fancy and cool. So typically they're like $80 to $120 for the set of these things, right? Well, Hip to Save had a link for them, $20 for the set. So yes, I bought 2. And somebody's getting one for Christmas.
I wouldn't mind. Like, I guess that's where I'm at. Is I don't have them because it's not on my immediate list to buy. But like,
right?
One of your Christmas presents came yesterday, and it was in a box that's like could contain radioactive elements.
Ooh.
And I was like,
battery in there?
I don't know. I haven't opened it yet.
You ordered it.
Right, but I didn't open it yet because it's like pre-Christmas to me when I open up all the boxes for people that I've ordered. And I'm like, oh, what is it? And then I open it and then I wrap it.
Sure.
And then 33 days later, someone else opens it and they're like, oh, what is it?
See, I'm the person, like, I open it right away, but then I wrap it 33 days later.
No, I
never wrap them that early.
I was, like, having this conversation with somebody. I was like, oh, my gosh, I ordered all my wrapping paper this year. And they're like, what do you mean?
From a Boy Scout?
No. No, I buy, like, butcher paper. With different color schemes.
Okay.
And then I buy, like, ribbons for, the accessories. And then I'm going to tie a little ornament to each gift this year. So I ordered all the little tiny ornaments to go with it.
I found another deal I forgot about.
Okay, go for it.
So on Etsy, I don't know if I'm going to get, like, Etsy's going to come after me for telling you guys this secret because I heard about it through the grapevine. It's not posted anywhere. On Etsy, you can get $20 off a $30 order right now.
On any order?
On any order. And you can use it repeatedly. So I used it like 4 times yesterday and just did like $30 orders.
What were you ordering from Etsy?
I ordered my kids I ordered my girls these little like leather jewelry cases that have their name engraved on them.
Cute.
Super cute. I ordered most of my like little starter family first-time home buyers this year, a Christmas ornament for like their first year in their new home,
Yeah.
But I just used it, so it's admin20 is the code.
Okay.
Don't put it into the store discount code. Put it into the Etsy discount code because it's from Etsy. It's not from the stores.
Okay.
But you can just repeatedly use it, and I was like, this is amazing. I don't know when it's going to end.
Etsy has an offer option now. Like, you can offer on a product how much you'd be willing to pay for it.
I did not know that.
Maybe that's like in each store vendor has to opt in or opt out of that.
Probably.
But I was like, this morning, I was like,
Offer? See if they take it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got some good deals. Where are you?
I did.
I guess we can talk about later about Christmas shopping. And what did I put? Gosh. Oh, I'm gonna use me being single for like most reasoning in my life. But for me to decorate my house is a lot of work.
Yeah, I've seen your house. It does a lot of work.
And I put Christmas villages in all the windows, and I'm working on like an ombre tree.
Yeah, it's pretty
thing.
elaborate.
Right? So I start early because I want to enjoy it December 1.
Absolutely.
So I start early, and people are like, "You're ruining Thanksgiving." I'm like, first off, can't ruin Thanksgiving.
Can't ruin Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a grand meal. And it's one day out of the whole season.
They don't even sell decorations for it, really.
No,
because
it's like harvest.
Harvest,
And
yeah.
like, I'm done with harvest. I'm ready for Christmas.
I
November 1.
I harvested.
Yeah, harvested. It's done. The frost is here. The harvest is over. November 1, I want Christmas decorations up because I want to take them down like December 31st.
Yeah.
So I want to enjoy them.
Yeah, the hard problem is like I want them down by like New Year's Day, right?
Yes.
But in order to do that, you kind of have to take away the magic on like December 27th, 28th.
Yeah.
Because
But honestly, when like the presents are not under the tree anymore, the magic's kind of gone.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But that being said, I want it earlier because I love the anticipation of Christmas. Like that Christmas Day,
the build up.
Whatever. But the build up,
it's the foreplay.
The anticipation, it's the best.
The Christmas foreplay.
I love it.
So the argument that I had with this person, they're like, well, I think you can set everything up. Like you can put your lights on, you just can't turn them on until
mine are on.
I'm like, you're gonna tell me you're gonna do hours and hundreds of dollars of work and be like, I'm gonna wait to turn on the lights until December 1st.
Yeah. You're a glutton for punishment.
Yeah. Also, Thanksgiving is on the 23rd this year. Mm-hmm. So you're going to tell me you're going to wait an additional 7 days after you have a food coma to turn on those lights?
No.
Those lights are your only serotonin for the next couple of days.
Right? For like after daylight savings, we all need more serotonin, honestly.
So daylight savings is going away. They federally got rid of it.
It's been on Congress's desk for like 3 years.
No, but I thought they already were like, wibbity woo, we're done.
I mean, if they did wibbity woo, we wouldn't be doing it
I thought they were like, we're going to do one more year, kind of cleanse the palate.
That's what I heard last year.
Oh. But you know who doesn't do daylight savings?
Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant people down there.
Yeah. There's a, did you ever watch the show The League?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a show?
Yeah, The League.
Never heard of it.
It's about fantasy football.
Oh. Did not watch it.
They have a skit about daylight savings. I'm not going to reenact it.
I put a note in here about daylight savings. In our show.
I did see that. You're like it wasn't a note. It was a novel.
It was a novel because I have a lot of feelings about daylight savings. Let me read it
the way that Courtney. Daylight savings? Why? I hate it. I don't care if morning is more dark, if I can have more daylight in the evening. I feel like one of the Sanders sisters. Insert video of redheaded opening up a window saying, makes me sick. Taking my kids to Vienna in the morning now, not ready for the day at 6:45, and I would appreciate the darkness at that time.
Yeah. I'm in my pajamas, slippers, because I have a...
You take your kids to school in your pajamas?
Yeah, I don't go into the school.
But what happens if you get, pulled over and you have to get out of your car?
I'm going to be in my pajamas and my slippers.
No.
Yeah, but it's like a mile from my house. It's not very far. But it's 6:45. I'm not dressed and ready.
I feel like most of, nighttime pajamas could be also, day wear now, though.
They could be. But I, am, in my slippers.
The, sets. Sets are, a big thing.
Yeah, I love pajama sets.
But they're not pajama sets. They're
loungewear.
Loungewear sets.
Yeah.
And then I do too. But then I'm like, can I wear that to the office?
Maybe if you put it with a blazer.
And Christina was like, no. Okay.
It's like the swoot on New Girl.
I know. Where's Nick Miller?
The swoot. Yeah, I don't like daylight savings. I have a lot of strong feelings about daylight savings.
I was driving to Leavenworth and with my little sister, and I wanted to leave at noon because I'm not a good night driver. And it takes 3 hours to get there. It's getting dark at for, give or take, coffee break, so whatever. So we're pulling in at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock at night?
Yeah. And I'm like, God, I hate driving at night. And Macy's like, yeah, me too, because of my astigmatism. And I'm like, oh, what does astigmatism do?
Yes.
And she's like, oh, it makes all the lights look like stars. And I'm like, what do you mean? They look like stars for everybody. And she was like, no, Brooklyn, they don't look like stars for everybody.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, what do you mean? It doesn't. Everybody gets stars. And she was like, no.
No, everybody doesn't get stars.
So I was like 27 years old when I found out that I have astigmatism.
Do you not go to the eye doctor?
Like they call and I'm like playing hard to get. I'm like, oh, maybe next year. I don't like when they blow the air into my eyeball.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah. Super hate that.
And the last time I went to the eye doctor, I was really awkward, and I don't want to go back until I feel like that guy's gone. So it might be a while.
Was it a like this kind of thing?
That was really bad. It was really, really, really bad.
So Brooklyn is leaving Red Robin. Right? Red Robin? And
I've blocked this out.
She's like, she has her niece and her nephew.
Oh, so bad.
And you were like carrying Cooper, I think, right?
Yeah.
He was like tired. You were carrying him,
no,
and like
yeah.
Everybody at Red Robin was being so nice. They're like,
no,
opening doors.
It's worse than Red Robin. It's like a local restaurant that I go to all the time that has like the same 8 people that have worked there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Red Robin, I'd be like, you'll be gone in 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. No, this is worse than Red Robin.
So she's leaving, and she's like, just did dinner with 2 kids, which she doesn't have any kids, so like that's a lot. That takes a lot of effort, And she's leaving, and the hostess kid is like, "Have a great night," and he like does this like high five or like wave, right? And Brooklyn thinks he wants to high five her, so she like goes in like this, and then he realizes she's gonna high five, and he goes.
And so then it's just like, okay,
okay, like gives him a little stick shift action.
It was so terrible, and I was like, oh God, everyone saw it.
It was so funny.
I called her, and I was like,
I died.
I just do the most awkward things all the time.
It was great.
The only other thing I have for my hot takes, which aren't even a hot take, but I just got a humidifier for the first time.
Yeah.
Everything's like damp.
Well, why did you get a humidifier then?
Because that's what TikTok told me to do when I was like, oh, I'm a little congested.
Told you to get a humidifier?
Yeah.
Or a dehumidifier?
What?
So, a humidifier is going to put moisture into the air. So it's like when it starts to be winter, like the air gets really dry and you'll get like bloody noses.
Yeah, I know all that. Right.
But dehumidifier is going to take the moisture out of the air.
But if I'm congested, shouldn't I have a humidifier?
I don't think so.
Come on, which is a WeHo. Don't you know what's going on?
Well, if you're congested, you have like, I feel like dehumidifier would be better.
I've never had it like, it's like pressurized in my cheeks. Like I've been gua shaing and jade rolling, trying to get it down.
Yeah, it's your sinuses.
I've been neti pot. Yeah. I'm on like Mucus MD or whatever. Is it called?
Mucinex?
Yeah, Mucus MD.
Yeah.
It looks like it looks like I'm going like to like I'm in a party scene of my life at night, because I'm like, okay, ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, Mucinex MD, sleep aid, Malnuka honey. That's like,
and you're like shots and lines, literally.
And I'm like, okay, I got 45 minutes to clean before all this hits me. Let's go.
Yeah, I feel like you need a dehumidifier instead of a humidifier.
Oh, well, choices were made. It was
That's true.
I put some essential oils in there.
Do you have a diffuser?
Yeah, it's in a box somewhere. I have a lot of things that are in a box somewhere.
I have been
I
using
want
the diffuser.
I want a diffuser that doesn't look like a diffuser.
Sure.
That looks like maybe like
a fancy little wood thing.
No, I have that. I want it to look like
a tea kettle.
I don't know. I feel like they're all so ugly.
You could use your little wood stove and put like an actual tea kettle on that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be the best fire starter.
Oh, so sad.
Don't look at me like that. I'm trying.
I love the wood stove
They don't stay lit.
We just need to start a list of things that Bo needs to come. Bo can start a fire.
I do not need a man, but I would like some male help.
Yes.
Mostly because I keep hurting myself trying to do it on my own. I'm always like, don't you dare hang that Christmas star. I'm like, I can do it.
Did you get it hung?
Zach came over and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He also vacuumed my ceiling.
To get the ladybugs out.
Yeah, get the ladybugs out. Fun fact, screens are no joke. You should keep them on your window because bugs will get in.
Yes.
And they
Why did you take your screen off?
I just wanted fresh air.
Fresh air can't come through the screen?
I wanted like unfiltered air. Like no filters. And I wake up and there is, I kid you not, a community of ladybugs on my ceilings. I have like, what is that? Vaulted ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'll just vacuum them up. So then I stood on a ladder with a vacuum trying to vacuum them. Can't reach. Stood on a chair on a ladder trying to vacuum them, get them off. And I kind of ping-ponged between the wall and my bed.
Yeah.
And
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
And then my sister's like, well, they'll die. Fun fact, ladybugs live a long time.
Yeah.
They got
and maybe they just reproduce.
Oh, God.
So it seems like they never leave.
Oh, no. And then I think my final thought was I took genocide to them with a water pick. That thing had a water pick.
So you just like, pew!
Yes, but it didn't really, like, I thought it would just like, it was genocide. So now there's smushed ladybugs, then he kind of cleaned my wall from from the crime scene.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
Oh my gosh. So the very quote of, like, I took my screen off my window because I wanted unfiltered fresh air.
I wanted unfiltered fresh air.
That reminds me of like the blinker fluid and like the
horn juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Macy told me I'm not allowed to go get my oil changed anymore without her.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get blinker fluid?
No, I didn't. But he pulled out my car filter because I guess there's like
your air filter.
Yeah, there's like two of them. One for you and one for the other people.
Yep.
And he was like, "This is what they look like." And I was like, "Is that bad?"
Was it dirty?
It was real dirty. There was like lots of stuff. I was like, "Can you just like vacuum it and just put it back in?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So do I get a new car?
Do I get a new car?
Should I just buy a whole new car? I was joking. He was like, I mean, you could. She was like, Brooklyn, you can't go to places like that and play dumb. And I'm like, I'm not playing dumb. I am the only humor they are going to get all day working at a Jiffy Lube, okay? Also, I'm in pink muffs. Like little...
Like hand mitten things?
Yeah, but they were very fluffy. They were like Ugg.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm matching hot pink boots. Did he think I was going to come in and be the voice of reason?
Yeah, but you're just telling them, like, upcharge me. Like, that's just what you're telling them.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like, she doesn't know.
She knows.
She don't know nothing.
Macy knows.
Macy knows.
Macy changes her own oil.
Go Macy. I do not want to do that.
I also don't want to hang my own Christmas exterior lights.
I don't blame you. It's cold.
If you know somebody, give me a call. I don't want to do it. And I should not be trusted on a ladder.
But I want them up.
And I feel like it's lame when you go to the houses and they only did like a little like on the railing.
Yeah. You could do your porch columns.
Yeah, but then like the rest of the house, nothing. I think I should get something and put it on my balcony. Like a light up.
It's timer. We should take a break.
And now a word from our sponsors. Oh my gosh, my hair is so greasy. I just can't wait to I'm getting new hair put in today.
Oh, fancy.
Well, it was time.
Is it? It has an expiration date.
I mean, they'll last a year. I can put these ones back in if I want shorter hair, but the place that I buy my hair from is having a sale. So I was like, wow, better now than March.
Need to set another timer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so excited. You guys, during that brief intermission, my bid got accepted.
On Etsy.
On Etsy.
So, what was the original price?
I don't want to tell you.
But it doesn't make it as good.
Well, it's okay.
She's like, listen, it was $10 and I got it for $8.
It was originally $180.
Okay.
And I got it for $150 in free shipping.
That's pretty good.
Okay. I was like, I don't want to doubt my...
That's $30 off.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus shipping.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really cool Christmas present. Like, top 10.
Who's it for?
Papa. Papa Jack, who is the hardest person to shop for.
Yeah. Because he has everything.
Actually, that is like one of my hot takes, is that people are like, oh, this person is so hard to shop for. This person's so hard to shop for. Not entirely true. Most people like something. You could just like get them that. There's been a lot of years that my mom buys her dad pretty much the same thing every year. Because it's like a usability thing, right?
Right.
I take gift giving like the Olympics.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Because I don't just want to buy somebody something. I want to buy them something that they use or that they didn't know existed, and that they're like, I didn't even know I needed this. Or they're like, I just want it to be so special. And it's not a money thing, because I feel like you can do that, like...
In any price range.
Truly. But it does get more difficult as, like, the longer... I don't know. It does get more difficult. But there's always going to be a scapegoat. You can always do, like Papa Jack would be so happy with a gift card to, like, Costco. Or Big R, which is now called something else. But... North 40 degrees north.
North 40.
Yeah. 40 degrees. Yeah. Like, Secret Santa, people will, like, freak out. They're like, I don't know what to get her. I'm like, well, there's always, like, an easy route. It's just how serious you take gift giving.
Yeah.
Some people don't read a spreadsheet like I do.
Brooklyn can make a spreadsheet for anything.
Spreadsheet. I gotta get out of Etsy. This was way too.
Okay, so your last, so you talked about the stars at night, which is astigmatism.
Yeah.
Your other hot take on here is indecisiveness is lazy.
Oh, yes, it is. It's so lazy.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
You're indecisive.
Sometimes about things I don't really care about. I have very few strong opinions. So a lot of the time I'm very easygoing, can go with the flow.
Butter. You don't have a strong opinion about butter?
I do have a strong opinion about butter.
I don't have a strong opinion about a lot of things, but don't get me started on dairy.
Dairy, butter, so some things I have strong opinions about. And those things are like, I'm not compromising.
I'm not negotiating with a terrorist.
Yeah, no, these are the things. But to be fair, butter, I don't go to other people's kitchen and ask them what kind of butter they have.
That's true.
So, but.
I worked, so before I was in real estate, I was in sales, and I've been in sales pretty much my whole life, but I worked with couture wedding dresses, and so people would come in, like a bridal appointment, blah, 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 and, you do the whole appointment, you walk through the showroom, and usually they're between, like, truly, like, one or two dresses, and those two dresses were never comparable. They were very different. And people would just be like, oh, I'm just so, like, I would say 75% of the time people were like, I'm just so indecisive, I just don't know. And then usually there was something like the mom finally being like, I like this one, that the girl would like swoon and be like, oh, me too. Like, or we'd put a veil on, and like they needed that like extra push off the ledge to make a decision. But it was more common or not for people to like, just that was their their comfort zone. I'm just so indecisive, I just don't know. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not, because you're standing here, so you made the decision to come here.
Mm-hmm.
You made the decision to say yes. You
Mm-hmm.
made the decision to set a wedding date.
Mm-hmm.
You made a decision, like,
Yeah. You're
not indecisive. You just, there's nothing that is connecting you with your decision yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm decisive to probably a fault.
Mm-hmm.
I will make knee-jerk decisions without really calculating them, because I'm just like, my mind and my body tells me to go this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say I'm indecisive about maybe like where I want to, no, even when I want to eat, I'm usually pretty decisive.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you want, no, I don't. But I think people not being decisive and making a decision has to do with their lack of commitment, lack of research, ultimately being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this, you can placate it to being like, I don't know where I want to go to school. I'm just so indecisive. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm just so indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who I want to date. I'm just so indecisive. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You just haven't taken any time to figure out what you want.
Yeah. I think indecisiveness, too, is like their subconscious or conscious, either way, ability to not take responsibility for the outcome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, we see it in this line of work too. All the time people are like, I just don't know. And it's like, well, I truly think it's because you haven't decided what is really important to you. You haven't
Mm-hmm.
sat down and been like, this is my threshold.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I have to, like, these are my things I'm not
Yeah.
negotiating on.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you don't have a baseline of expectations or needs, then
Yeah.
of course it'd be like, I don't
You
know.
don't have a compass, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like people nowadays are there's like comfort in being indecisive. I'm on TikTok a lot, which I shouldn't be, but it's like it's a mind suck, and I kind of, your For You page is wild, because your For You page is listening to you and you don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was having conversations about millennials and Gen Z, and how more times than not, I'm a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
But because, like, I have Macy in my life and I hear things that she says and, like, all that stuff, sometimes I'm like, I'm aware of this. I don't even agree with it necessarily, but I am aware of it. So my phone will bounce back and forth, and I'll ask Macy questions like, how do you pronounce this word? Or what does it mean? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And so I get these TikToks pulled up on my page, and it will be, like, these girls getting out of college, which I am well out of college. I'm past that phase of my life. And that 22 to, let's say, 24 is so angry right now, because they're like, we got a degree and we can't find a job, and colleges should be telling you how to get a job and what jobs you can use with your degrees. And I'm like, are you telling me
you didn't ask those questions?
You went to school for 4 years and you didn't have a backup plan?
That's wild.
You paid, let's call it cheap. And this is cheap. Let's say you did college for $7,000 a year.
Yeah,
which is
super cheap.
$3,500 a semester. I think that's like community college in Spokane.
Yeah.
Okay, so super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
That's still $28,000 in 4 years.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's a brand new car.
Well,
little mid-sized car. The car I have.
Okay. Really? Oh. Anyhow,
well,
that's a lot
cheap
of
one.
Okay.
On the cheaper end.
I digress. That's a lot of money to be like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I would never spend $28,000 to be like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this.
Yeah.
I spent significantly more than $28,000 on my education. Yeah. And I did have a backup plan, and C and D and E. And when I graduated, nobody was like, okay, this is where you go now. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Don't forget to donate to your alma mater. I was like, I have no money. But no, it's not just like 2 or 3 people. There's a whole segment of these kids that are just, they're so frustrated. And they're so frustrated that they're not coming out of college with a 6-digit salary.
Yeah.
And they're making less at their adult job than they did at their serving job.
Yeah.
So they don't want to leave their serving job.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this other girl on TikTok who was like, I have to go to work in person, which means I leave my house at like 7. I don't get to work till 8. and I don't get home. I get off work at 5, but then I have to take the train, so I don't get home till like 6:15, and then I have to like feed myself, and like I don't have time to work out, and like I have no time for myself. I have no time for hobbies, and I was like, yeah, that's life.
Yeah. You know, and like I wish like part of it is like a cultural thing of how much we work in America. Like you could go to Spain and that wouldn't be the case.
Sure.
But we also have this like I really feel like this new generation of kids are being raised by a generation, probably the first generation maybe, that was marketed to their entire lives, like with TV and internet and all these things. Like when I grew up, we got internet in I don't know what year it was, but I was like in 6th grade or seventh grade or something, 8th grade. Like in my middle school years is when we got internet. It wasn't until I was a sophomore that internet became
high speed. You could just log on.
You could just log on. Like, yeah, like we had internet.
Because it used to take a phone line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like AOL, right? And you could like instant message your friend.
Which was super cool. I had AOL Messenger, and then we used AOL Messenger, I feel like, more than we used text messaging. There was like a brief year there where like AOL was like dope and text messaging was like
For sure. I didn't even have a cell phone. I had AOL Instant Messenger before I had a cell phone. So, yeah, and then I was a sophomore when like MySpace became a thing.
You were how old when MySpace became a thing?
16.
Okay, I was 13.
6.
No, well, okay. When I got on MySpace, I was 13.
Yes. Yeah. So, like a lot of my youth and my like formative years, we watched, you know, Saturday morning television had like infomercials.
Sure,
right?
But the infomercials back then were like the rainbow pen.
Yes.
And
super rudimentary.
Magic sand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't like every commercial was marketing to you, and it wasn't like every show was necessarily marketing to you either about what's cool or trendy or what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
But shortly after my generation is a generation of kids that were explicitly and relentlessly marketed to their whole life, and now they're raising kids.
Well, that would be me.
Your generation is raising kids.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, yes, you would be raising kids, but you would not be raising kids that are graduating college right now.
No.
You know? No. So, I don't know. I think that plays a lot into, like, the whole, like, whining about stuff and not taking responsibility.
Somewhere along the lines, right, like, responsibility took a huge dip, right?
Yes.
Like, if you were in a classroom and you were making a bunch of commotion, you weren't listening, you were being distracting, your parents would get called, you would get in trouble because you were not obliging by classroom etiquette and making a space for other kids to learn too. Mm-hmm. But now, that same thing happens. Parents get called. It's the teacher's fault. Yep. It's the environment's fault. Yep. It's the school district's fault. Yep. The child can do no wrong because he's a child and he or she should be able to do whatever they need to do to learn. Yeah. It's like roles have been reversed. And I don't have a child, so maybe I could be wildly off.
I think there's obviously like one scenario or solution doesn't fit the whole group, right? Like we do everyone a disservice when we make one person's story everybody's story.
Also that.
But like there is a lot of that in schools, especially after COVID. There's a lot of kids that came back to school that have absolutely no regard for authority, and that is a major problem. There's a whole different sect of people that are realizing that public school is like a major farming industry for workers and kids.
Absolutely.
You know, and so there's a whole other group awakening to the idea that like, especially boys in particular, were not meant to sit in a classroom all day long. So I think there's just like, obviously there could be some scenarios where this kid is not a bad kid and the parents are not bad parents, but sitting in a classroom is just not going to be conducive to his learning environment. But then there's a different group of people that want to use that reason to take no responsibility for the situation at hand.
And I think kids grow up and they change and they adapt and they grow and all this stuff, so I don't really know where to put this storyline, and I am not the same person I was at 6 years old. But I also loved going to school because I loved getting dressed up And I loved being there and learning, and I got in trouble all the time for talking, and they'd have to move me and put me somewhere else. And there was like one class my senior year that like I just sat in the hallway. They'd be like, you're in the hallway now because you can't like. They're like, we're putting you next to the most antisocial people, and you are still being a distraction. And that's how I am still. Like, I love going to work. I love getting dressed up. I love talking to people. There was classes where I talked and I'd have to go run the stairs. And it was a weights class, so it was fine. I was like dressed for it. But he would be like, stop talking, start lifting. And I'd be like, but he's like, not your jaw. And that was fine. Like, I didn't go home and call my parents and be like, he made me run the stairs. Yeah. It's just like crime and punishment. Yes. Yes. I didn't get upset when they put my desk in the hallway because that made sense. They're like, get out of here. Yeah. I don't know. And I feel like teachers have lost their authority. There's only so much they can do now, too. Yeah, yeah. And a lot of teachers are leaving the profession because of it. And I think it's we could debate on, like, how far it goes back, you know, for forever and ever. But I think, like, at the root of it, it's a sickness of your privilege and your responsibility. Like, I tell my kids all the time, like, with more privilege comes more responsibility, you know? And, like, we learn that even as adults. Like, we got a truck and a camper a couple years back. And so it's cool, like, by the way. Totally cool. It's super awesome. If you don't follow the lanes less traveled, you should do that. We bought their camper. But, like, when stuff breaks, we would get so frustrated, and we're like, poor us. Poor us. We have to fix our toy hauler. Why? You know, and it's like, because with more privilege comes more responsibility. And it's just, like, we live in a society where they want all the privilege and hold none of the responsibility. I bought truly my first home this year. I've owned homes before. I just have never lived in them. And so I bought Brooklyn's dream house this year. The little blue dollhouse. And I'll call Courtney, and it's like, my roommate is leaving her shoes everywhere. And Courtney's like, you live alone. And I'm like, yeah, and it's so rude. And, like, I work all the time, so I don't mow my lawn. And so I'm like, I have to pay the lawnmower. And it's like, yeah, because you bought a house, Brooklyn, and you don't mow the lawn. And you don't want to mow the lawn. And, like, I'm like, I got to pick up these leaves because you have a tree in your yard because you bought a house that you knew how to tree. Yeah. Also, how one tree makes so many leaves. I know. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not going to pick them up. I'm going to let them leave there. And then I don't know how a tree was able to disperse evenly the leaves to both walkways on perpendicular lays, but I was like, I guess I can't do that. But yeah, no, more responsibility, more privilege. I think that a lot of people use a reason as the excuse. Like, they become interchangeable, and they're not. Yeah. And they think their reason or their excuse, like, somehow removes them from carrying the consequence. Yeah. I'm sick. I can't come to work today. Totally viable reason. Does not excuse you from not doing the things that, like, if you have a presentation due that day or a paper due that day. Yeah. You still got to do that work. You still have to do it. You just maybe are doing it from home. Yeah. But yeah. We just have given up in a lot of aspects, I feel like. I know. I talked to my little sister about this a lot. I have a little sister who is, how old is she? 20, I think. And I've told her many times, I'm like, if you can go to work in this day and age, if you can just go to work, you're going to get ahead because nobody else is going to work. It is funny, like, when one of my friend's son has been looking for a job and hasn't been able to find one. And he's, like, 19. He just needs something in between school and whatever. Yeah. And he's like, I can't find anything. I'm like, can you not find anything you like, or can you not find anything? Because I feel like there's jobs out there. There's a lot of jobs. Yeah. What was your first job? Lifeguard. Okay, that's a cool job. Yeah. I'm not a good swimmer. I was a lifeguard for a long time. Oh, I'm not a good swimmer, so I couldn't have done that job. Yeah. My first W-2 job was a barista, and I thought I was really good at my job, like, and I loved my job. I loved where I worked. Looking back, I'm so grateful that she hired me. I was probably a terrible employee. I swear I was just like in, like in Sesame Street, like da-da, Elmo's world.
Yes.
That's what I feel like I was. Just no regard for what was going on around. I mean, like, customers loved me. It was kind of a weird coffee shop. There was a drive-through, but it was really like, come sit in. We also served food and wine and beer.
Random. It
was very random. Super cool, though. And I worked after school or early on the weekends. And just, I wrote her a thank you card a couple years back, being like, thanks for hiring me. I don't know if I would have hired me looking back. I thought I was really great at my job. Totally get it now. I've done that to a few of my employers looking back as like I've grown. I've sent them like emails like, now that I have some perspective. Yeah. Thank you so much for hiring me at that time, because even if it didn't work out, like even if like I left or whatever, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I would have hired me back then. So thank you for taking a chance on me. Yeah. It worked. Yeah. But I told Macy that. She's like, oh, I would never do that. Why? I was like, you would never reach out to an old employer? She was like, no, I don't. I'm, whatever. Macy also has had one job. So yeah. And it's with her dad. Yeah.
So no employer to reach out to.
Yeah, you know. But I don't know. It's just life is all perspective, and your perspective is your privilege as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What else do we have? Closing statements? Oh, grind my gears, I guess is what we've done.
Well, we did a little bit of that.
All our pets. Oh, you just don't want to be a pet person anymore.
I'm not a pet person. I have pets.
Do you know the comment section is going to go off the minute you say you're not a pet person?
I do.
But if you say, I'm not a kid person, people like totally get it.
I know,
I'm not a human living person is what you're saying. I don't like human living things.
Yes.
But if you're like, and they're like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Kids are hard.
Kids aren't for everyone.
But if you're like, ooh, I don't like papillons, they're like, shame! Shame on you and your family. Shame on your cow. Yes. Go to another village.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I even have to start myself with like, I don't hate dogs. I'm not a huge dog person.
No, I'm not. Like, I don't see a dog and want to pet the dog.
I don't either.
So,
like, I truly would not think it's funny if, like, my spouse was like, came home with a dog.
No.
Some people would be like, oh my God, it was so romantic. It was so cute. I'd be like, no.
I'd be super mad.
I don't barely let people sit on my couch in my living room. You think I want a dog in this Barbie dream house?
Yeah.
Brooklyn's dream house?
Right. Yeah, I don't like it.
And they're expensive?
They are. And, like, they have ailments.
100 years ago, they would be doing totally fine without us, but now we've coddled them too much.
Yes, we have. Mm-hmm.
And this whole, I've had it up to here with this fucking dog mom, dog dad bullshit. Dog birthday parties. I am up to here. I don't give a shit. Congratulations, you bought a dog. It's probably adorable. It's probably named Max or Gunner or Rufus or Charlie or Lily.
Yeah.
That's fine. Good for you.
Yeah.
But do not send me a registry for your dog.
Absolutely not.
Do not say, I'm a dog mom. I'm not even a mom, and I would be offended. I'm offended. That, to me, is at the same level of, like, the whole bullshit argument of, like, life giver, uterus haver.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, no. Fucking up to here.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No. Yeah, I'm not. And it's not, like, it's fine if that's your thing. Totally fine. But I can't, like, join you in that. Like, it's just, I don't have it in me. So.
There's a dog that lives next door to me. I'm like, how many more years do you have?
Yeah.
Who's going to outlive who?
I know, right? And they live a long time. Pets live a long time. It's kind of crazy.
Well, so we record typically Thursdays, and we put out a podcast on Monday. Mm-hmm. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Right.
So we'll record earlier and then hopefully still put it out the following Monday. Mm-hmm. At that point, we'll recap No, we won't because we won't have had Thanksgiving yet.
We won't have had Thanksgiving
We'll talk
yet.
about Thanksgiving next week.
Yeah.
Which will be kind of a post podcast of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So we can do a post or a pre and a post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through some events this coming week. If you live in the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area, Courtney, I'll do the...
Yeah, we actually have a lot of
announcements.
Events, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do upcoming events, and then you can do the food stuff.
Okay.
All right, so if you're into turkey trots, and I know what you're saying, oh my gosh, I would never be that family that does a 5K on Thanksgiving. I get it. I hate running, but for the 500 million calories I want to consume and not feel bad about it, I feel a brisk frolic. I'm not running is probably okay. For the most part, all of these are going to start at 9 a.m. We have the annual BRC Turkey Trot and Thanksgiving at Manitou. We have the Mackenzie Mott Memorial Turkey Trot. That one is virtual 5K or in person. That one is at Pavilion Park in Liberty Lake. We have the Gobble Gobble Trot at Eagle Ridge. That one starts at Whispering Pines Park. We have Dance Turkey Trot at Midway Elementary, again, 9 a.m. That one's probably better for people who live in Meade or Mount Spokane. And then we have the big one downtown, which is Huffin for the stuffing. That one is downtown. I believe registration closes today, the 16th, but you can probably sign up the day of as well. And then the day after Thanksgiving, we have, are we out of time? Is it done recording? Yeah, that's fine. Don't do that when I'm talking. We have the lightning, there's no N. The lighting.
I know.
Lightning.
Lightning and lighting those are weird words.
We have the lighting ceremony parade down in Coeur d'Alene. If you have not gone, it is super cool. Kids love it. They throw candy. The brightest. It's just so great. That starts at 5 o'clock. If I were you personally, I'd get there earlier and scope out a spot to sit. If you're like me, just make a dinner reservation somewhere with a view.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And get out of the weather. Last year it was pouring down rain. And then, and then Courtney has some news about some Thanksgiving meal stuff.
Okay, so all of this, too, will be in, our show notes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you need to find any of this info. A couple things, and we can reiterate this next week, too, because this is for Thanksgiving. So if you are looking for a place to get a Thanksgiving meal, either, I think all of these are, nonprofit places that are offering and hosting Thanksgiving meals. There's Calvary Spokane. They're organizing meal preparation and delivery on November 19th. Families in need can request a meal at SpokaneThanksgiving.com. Creme Care's Tom Turkey Drive. They offer Thanksgiving baskets with ingredients for a meal. Registration is required and information is available at creme.com. Women and Children's Free Restaurant on November 21st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. A fully prepared family-style meal is available for pickup at 1408 North Washington. An adult female must be present for that one. Fresh Soul on Thanksgiving morning, the first 100 visitors to Fresh Soul at 3029 East 5th Avenue receive a free meal and a cash gift. No registrations required. One Heart Spokane offers fully cooked Thanksgiving meals for low-income children and their families. You can check the availability by calling 509-724-7396. Places that are offering a sit-down meal with no registration necessary are going to be the Southside Community Center and Shalom Ministries at New Community Church, City Gate, and the Salvation Army.
And then one other one that's not on here is Blessings, which used to be Blessings Under the Bridge, but now it's Blessings and Beyond.
Yep.
But they will be doing meals, I think, under the Spokane Bridge as well, typically.
On Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's for, all right, a few more things. You can follow me at Brooklyn Neverbrook or the Spokane Socialite. Courtney's handle, soon to be the Homegrown Home Sold, currently Spokane Real Estate by Courtney. We are just our names on Facebook, which is Brooklyn Connor and Courtney Hansen. We will be here same time, same place. Till next time.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening.